Welcome back to Midday. We have Manpreet Joshi joining us, who is a regulated Canadian immigrant consultant with SIA Immigration. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me again.
We love having you back, Manpreet, and we're talking about something a little different today. Of course, staying on the topic of immigrants, but talking a little bit about how they can bring their families, their spouses, their children, their partners, whatever it might be, to the country. Tell us a little bit about the options surrounding that, Manpreet.
So, well, Canadian immigration has a very good program for the Canadian citizens and permanent residents where they can bring their spouses, common law partners, or children to Canada under spousal sponsorship.
Right.
Now, saying spouses doesn't mean that they have to be married.
Okay.
It could be common law. It could be a conjugal partner, as long as they're meeting the requirements as per the definition of a common law in Canada, or as per the definition of a conjugal partner in Canada. The application process usually takes about an year if they apply outland, which is like out of Canada. If, for an example, a Canadian citizen or PR gets married to or become a common law with an international person who's in Canada on a valid status, then they can submit an inland application as well.
Oh, okay.
That again, the application process in the inland also is like an year processing time, but they have an option to submit a work permit. Right. When they submit inland. So which means after first couple months of submitting an application, they'll get a work permit, they can get a social insurance number, go ahead and work. They can also get medical coverage as a normal BC temporary resident. So there are many benefits in those cases when they submit inland application. And outland sometimes gets processed faster just based on the compassionate grounds because spouses are apart and they have to be together since they're married. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned quickly they're temporary residents. So in order to bring your family to the country, you have to be a Canadian citizen then, right, I assume?
No, not necessarily. Even the temporary residents. For an example, an international student or a foreign worker has an option to bring their spouses, children, again, as I said, common law partner, conjugal partners to Canada, along with the children. And even the younger children can just go to school. Like if they're of school age, they can just go to school in Canada, even on the visitor visas. Certain age limits, certain conditions apply in these cases, so they need to make sure. And the one, well, the spouses of the international students or the foreign workers, they get open work permit. Right. Well, they have the option, right? They can get the visitors or the open work permit, but open work permit, again, give them the same right as I mentioned before. They can go ahead and work. They can get the, social insurance. They can get the medical coverage, everything. Now, sometimes what happens is that when the international students and the foreign workers bring their spouses and children on the work permit and the children are on the visitor visa, they need to make sure they keep extending that for the children because visitor visas are only 6 months entry at a time. Unless officer allows a longer entry at the airport or port of entry, wherever they are entering the Canada. Otherwise, they need to pay attention to this part that they must keep their kid in a legal status in Canada.
Okay.
And there are few confusions also that are going along the thing related to this topic, which is like a lot of my clients come to my office and ask, can I bring my spouse right away, especially the international students. They ask me this question, can I bring my spouse right away? Or do I need to wait 6 months? And then they think that they have to wait 6 months, honestly. Sometimes they just keep waiting and then they come to me. I want to clarify this, that no, you don't need to wait at all. Like you can apply for them right away.
That's a really, really good thing to remind people because, they're waiting 6 months and they didn't have to. That sounds terrible.
Well, this actually, it gets confused with another little law that's there for the temporary foreign workers.
Right.
Not 6 months, but the temporary foreign workers must have the 3 pay stubs. That they have started working, they have, they got they're going to the, that they're going to the job that they have got offered for their work permit and everything. So if it's a closed work permit, then it's actually the condition is more strong in this way that they must show the first 3 pay stubs before they can apply an open work permit for their spouse.
Okay.
But that's it, first 3 pay stubs, not really the 6 months.
So you would probably encourage then, Manpreet, you mentioned not having to wait 6 months, but you would encourage then anyone who's here and wants to bring their spouse to come to you right away.
Yes.
Just start the process right away.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And sometimes even, let's say a student came to Canada in January, and by the time they settle, they come to us maybe in February, right?
Okay.
And then there is a lot of documentation in these kind of applications.
Yeah.
You just can't go ahead and submit a form saying that I wanted to bring somebody and here is the marriage certificate.
Yeah.
You need to prove that the marriage is genuine. It is not because there has been a lot of fraud going on. So in order to protect that, Canadian government has, stricter these kind of application a little bit in order to make sure that the process is genuine, the marriage is genuine. It's not a marriage of convenience. It applies to both, to the temporary and to the permanent residents. Okay. When it comes to the permanent residents and the citizens bringing their spouses, everybody automatically understands this, that we need to prove that the marriage is genuine.
Right.
But when it comes to the temporary residents, a lot of people don't take it that seriously. But honestly, it is the same way.
It is, yeah.
Because they are giving a legal entry to somebody who's claiming the spouse of a Canadian resident, be it a citizen or permanent resident or temporary resident. Okay. So they really scan it the same way.
Okay.
So that application is also very crucial.
Very, very interesting. All these little points that I think that are good reminders for people, and
yes,
could really save them some time and headache, really.
Yes, and I know. A lot of time when students come here, when they're married, when they have children back home, I know, it's their biggest concern.
Yes, of
they
course.
wanted to bring their spouses, they wanted to bring their children, so that the entire family is here and they can, do whatever they want. They can. Plan for their future. So of course, the CIC, the IRCC, which is now called the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, also wanted to see the families together. Right. They have a lot of programs put together, but their only concern is they want to minimize fraud in this section of immigration. Right. Because this section has been abused a lot. So that's why they really wanted to make sure that you submit the correct application, you present it right way, and the important components should be highlighted in order for the officer to understand that this is a genuine marriage. And so again, I would repeat that part, that in order to prove that this marriage is genuine, we don't need to wait 6 months or 10 months or 3 months. Nothing. Yeah. It just, we need to have the exact proofs. We need to put the application together properly. Okay. So that's the prime part of it. And again, because it's a temporary resident visa, when it comes to the spouses of international students and the foreign workers, they need to fulfill those conditions too. So the application comes in the 3 sets. Now I'm talking about the temporary residents, like the foreign workers and the students. When they apply for their spouses, it's like the foreign worker or the student here. They need to prove that part, that they are here, they're legal, they're complying with the condition. Then the middle part of it, their relationship. Right. That it's genuine, it's good, and it's legal. They have a marriage certificate and everything. And then the third part of it is that they have to have like a good home country ties, because it's temporary resident visa.
All right. Thank you so much, Manpreet. Lots of information, but very important. SIAimmigration.com is the website if you want to get a hold of Manpreet. You can do so, and there's her phone number there on the screen. We're back in a moment with the SPCA. Stay with us.
Thank you.